Okay, a pleasant good mornings to everyone, no? So, welcome to my virtual classroom. Okay, sa lesson natin o sa subject natin na Operation Audit, nasa lesson 3 tayo. At ang ating ang pag-uusapan ngayon ay yung risk-based and process approach ng ating audit. Ha? Okay, so di-discuss natin. So, let's start. Okay, ibigay din muna natin no yung ating mga topic no, yung nakuha na at yung kukunin pa, no? So sa una, kung matatandaan ninyo, diniscuss natin no yung ating introduction to auditing, no? At diniscuss din natin diyan yung bali introduction din dun sa pauna no, dun sa ating operation audit. Now, sa pangalawa, dun na ngayon natin tinalakay ng mas malalim yung operational auditing. At ngayong araw nga, ang ating tatalakayin ay yung risk-based and process approach. Ang kasunod niyan ay itong performance evaluation. At yung panglima ay yung process improvement. Okay, so meron pang kasunod niyan, no? After nung lesson 5. Ha? Okay. Now, ibigay din natin, no, ano ba yung mga learning objectives, no, sa ating magiging topic o ating lesson ngayong araw. So, isa-isahin nating ibigay. Una, dapat malalaman natin o madidefine natin what is risk and risk assessment. Ha? Okay, yung pangalawa, discuss the measurement of risk. So, therefore, na-measure pala yung risk, no? And how natin i-conduct yung measurement of risk. Now, yung number 3, discuss what are the tools for risk measurement. And number 4, discuss what is risk management including risk challenges. Okay. So, simulan natin sa 1, no? Okay. So, i-define muna natin yung risk, 'di ba? So, maski kayo, iba-iba ang inyong sabihin natin ang definition ng risk, no? Now, isa-isahin natin. Maaring ito ay danger, 'di ba? Kapamahakan sa Tagalog, 'di ba? O maaari ito ay isang hazard o kaya ito ay imminence, no? Maaaring yun talagang kahit anong iwas mo, ito ay mangyayari't mangyayari. Okay, peril, no? Okay. So, pitfall. Okay, threat, trouble, no? Actually, yung mga definition o yung mga binigay na word na ako sabihin na natin synonymous to risk, ayan ay yung mga klase no ng mga risk na maaaring makapagbigay ng problema sa operation ng isang kumpanya. Now, maraming klase no, yung different risk na confronted by the business. Iba-iba, depende kasi kung ano yung vulnerabilities nito o weakness, no? Weakness na nakaatang dun sa asset, no? Kunyari, asset o isang bagay, no, na nagbibigay ng risk. Okay. Now, yung mga risk na yan ay maaaring strategic, operational, compliance, reporting, and audit related. So, ito yung mga iba't ibang klase ng risk na kino-confront ng mga business. Okay. Pero tayo nga more on operational risk, di ba? Okay. Now, ang consequence nito, yung mga risk nito ay syempre pag nangyari ay merong kaakibat na sabihin natin resulta, no? O yung consequence, no? Ngayon, kaya lang ito ay iba-iba, no? Iba-iba yung magiging consequence. Now, maaaring ito ay grabe, 'di ba? Maaaring hindi naman masyadong yung pala ganun lang pala, 'di ba? O kaya depende kung ano yung magiging impact nito. Now, ito ay ang nito, yung kanyang consequence ay influence anong type ng vulnerabilities ang involved o yung weakness involved dun sa ating dun sa merong risk, no, na bagay. So depende 'yun, no, sa vulnerabilities niya. Now, tandaan natin tong risk nito, class, ay pupuwede nating no, hindi naman maiwasan. Ang risk kasi, class, ay hindi maiiwasan. Mangyayari at mangyayari, merong risk. Kaya lang ang ginagawa lang natin, yung risk nito ay ating pinabababa into a manageable level. So gumagawa tayo ng pamamaraan para ito, yung risk nito, hindi man natin maiwasan completely, ay kaya nating dalhin, no? Okay. Now, consequences can be anticipated to prevent their occurrence. Kumbaga parang inaasahan mo. At dun sa inaasahan mo kung ano yung mangyayari na yun, gagawa ka ng pamamaraan, di ba? Kunyari, eto, delikado dito. Sample lang natin, di ba, sa isang bagay. Kunyari, meron kang nakita, yung hagdan, may crack na, di ba? So alam mo, ang iniisip mo na, kung ito ay maapakan ko at nasira ito, maaaring mahulog ako at maaaring mapilay ako. So therefore, ina-anticipate mo na kung ito ay mangyayari. At alam mo na ang possible na magiging resulta. So gumagawa ka na ngayon ng pamamaraan na ngayon para maiwasan na ngayon yung iniisip mo na mangyayari. Now, the sophistication of the response mechanism and the flexibility of organization to adapt as needed. Okay, so gumagawa ka ngayon ng pamamaraan. Now, dito, yung risk assessment and control self-assessment ang magbibigay sa iyo kung anong klase ng control o kung anong klase ng pamamaraan upang maiwasan yung risk o ibig sabihin maiwasan natin na mangyari dulot ng risk na yun. Ha? Okay. Now, risk assessment o paano ba yung risk assessment? 'Di ba yung risk assessment pag sinabi natin, kumbaga parang tinitignan natin, no? Ini-evaluate natin, 'di ba? Ini-evaluate natin gaano ba kagrabe tong risk nito. Okay, eto ba merong risk nito? Lahat ng bagay merong risk. Ikaw nga, 'di ba, sabi nga natin lumabas ka nga lang sa bahay, 'di ba? Merong na kagad na risk, 'di ba? Hindi mo nga lang alam kung ano yung risk na yun, 'di ba? Okay, so risk assessment is the process of identifying, measuring, and analyzing risk relevant to a program or process. So yan yung definition ng risk assessment. Now, yung risk assessment is systematic. So meron siyang step-by-step procedure na ginagawa. Okay, so bakit natin ginagawa yun? Upang ma-identify natin properly, no? Yung whatever yung risk, no? Ma-identify natin. Now, iterative and subject to both quantitative and qualitative inputs, no? And factors and dependent on the time frame of the review. Okay. Now, identification of risk, no? Now, class, pag sa identification of risk, nangangailangan to ng tao na sabihin natin na well talaga, no? Meron talagang experience. Hindi ito ibinibigay, kunyari, pagdating sa risk assessment, hindi ito ibinibigay, sabihin na natin, kunyari, kahit na sabihin na natin na auditor ka, pero baguhan pa lang, ay binibigay ito dapat to sa mga talagang qualified o well-experienced na auditor. Kasi meron na silang experience before. 'Di ba, yung mga nakita na nila, meron na silang mga kumbaga parang na-experience. Kunyari, ganito, merong nawala. So ano yung naging nangyari? So therefore, meron na silang mga idea kung paano nila iso-solve yung problema. Okay. Now, yung risk, quite often, this step is not exhaustive enough or performed by individuals with limited knowledge of process being assessed. Now, usually ganyan ang nangyayari. Now, kaya nga lang merong itong consequence, no, kung ang mag-a-assess ay walang masyadong alam, no, o performed by individuals with limited knowledge. Ibig sabihin, limited din yung kanilang magiging output when it comes to risk assessment. Kaya nga ang kahalagahan dapat nagkakaroon ng identification of risk, no, including the risk assessment, maibigay ito sa mga tao na sabihin natin na well-experienced and highly qualified, no, na magkaroon talaga ng risk assessment. Okay. Now, it is useful to include the risk identification exercise people with extensive knowledge of the program or process that will be analyzed. Okay. Now, hindi lang naman kasi auditor eh. Maraming pamamaraan. Kunyari during meron kang isang process, 'di ba? Meron kang process na you want to try kung merong risk na involved dun sa process na 'yun, 'di ba? Ang una mong ginagawa, kung wala kang alam, then you have the tools, other tools na para malaman mo by means of walkthrough, by means of interview, 'di ba? May means of checklist, no? Useful checklist para malaman mo. 'Di ba before ka mag-assess kasi kailangan you have to gain knowledge about the process first, 'di ba? So, doon mo lang maa-assess na mabuti yung risk, no? Now, i-use a prepared list or use of multiple templates, no? O ito nga, just in case na you are not, sabihin na natin, kunyari, 'di ba, sabihin na natin walang experience person na to take up yung risk assessment at ikaw naatang ka bilang isang sabihin natin bago, then you can use yung nga yung nabanggit ko nga kanina to gain knowledge about dun sa process na i-assess mo for the risk. Now, you can use the prepared list or use of multiple template. Now, yung list na yun, class, ay actually that is from the audit, no? Kung ano yung 'di ba tinuruan naman kayo before, 'di ba, sa mga flowchart, 'di ba? Kailangan alam mo yung mga flowchart, yung alam mo yung mga how to yung sabihin natin ah, ma graphically, no, ma-identify mo yung process o maisulat mo o maibigay mo graphically yung mga process. Now, meron ding mga sabihin natin multiple templates, no? List of available, often organized, no, by industry like yung COSO, no? Yung sa COSO, 'di ba, yun yung sa internal control. ISO for the quality control. Information Technology Infrastructure Library or ITIL. Just in case you are trying to assess naman when it comes to procedure and kunyari, step by step procedure or process involving computer and CBNet. Okay. Now, operational risk type. Now, yun nga yung ating 'di ba, yung ating subject, that is yung operation. Now, sa operation class, meron different types of risk na involved when it comes to operation. Now, ang una dito yung capacity. Okay. Ang risk na description dito is inability to produce as many units as required. 'Di ba? Ibig sabihin hindi makapag-produce ng tama, no? Okay, so therefore merong risk about the capacity. Okay, kunyari may order, 'di ba? Order ng products. Okay, kaya ba na mai-produce yung order na yun? Now, process generating excessive amount of waste, 'di ba? Okay, eto naman yung sabihin natin there is a negligence o kaya baka mamaya yung ibig sabihin na maraming tapon kaysa sa nagagawang produkto, 'di ba? Producing too many defective parts. O eto naman, lumagpas na. 'Di ba kunyari yung pinakaano dito class during the yung quality control no. Pag lumagpas na, lumabas na yung produkto at naibenta na ito sa market, yung pala defective. May epekto yun, 'di ba? So, delivering ordered goods or services past the promised date o to late na ng delivery. Inability to provide high quality service to every customer. When it comes to quality. Okay, so that is capacity. Now, another operational risk type is yung strategic. Okay, ano naman ang kanyang description? Failing to maintain beneficial relationship with customer. Okay, so ito naman yung how to maintain yung customer. Computer system inability to support the operating unit needs. Okay, manufacturing lines being unable to keep pace with the sales growth. Okay, so therefore yung yung sales, therefore there is a increasing demand. 'Di ba? Ang tanong diyan, yung manufacturing lines dapat ma-meet niya yung demand, no? Okay. Now, lack of funding to finance business expansion. Okay. Now, another, knowledge drain due to employee turnover. Maraming nagre-resign. Failure to respond to changing customer preferences. Now, maraming klase, maraming mga company, ang nangyari is bumagsak because they failed, no, to respond to the changing customer preferences. Like for example, class, I'm going to give you a good example of dito. Now, kunyari, class, ang isa sa mga class, sa mga mobile phone kung bakit bumagsak, 'di ba? Kunyari, ang example na lang yung Nokia. I don't know if you are familiar with the brand, no? Kasi ang Nokia, ang market share niya during 1990s, no? 1990s ay more than 50%, no? So wala pa yung mga iPhone, wala pa yung mga Samsung. Actually, the leader in mobile business ay yung Nokia. So marami silang mga brand, no? Actually, if you are possessing Nokia, then okay ka. 'Di ba? Parang ginagawang status symbol. Now, the problem with the Nokia kung bakit siya bumagsak, lumabas yung iPhone. Yung iPhone kasi when you yung iPhone is not made of plastic but aluminum. So medyo parang premium ang feel niya. So ibig sabihin maganda, 'di ba? Aside from that, inalis na nila yung keyboard, but they're using a touch screen, no, yung keyboard, no. Eh unlike dun sa Nokia, you are also using lang yung parang sabi nga mabagal, no. Ang isang nakaapekto talaga sa Nokia yung no, yung kanyang OS, no, o yung operating system. Now, yung rival ng rival, yung like yung for example, that using yung mga Google, 'di ba? Yung sa Google, 'di ba? So Android, 'di ba? They're using Google which is more no, parang responsive, no? More responsive. But Nokia stayed with the no, yung kanilang OS, no? Okay, yung sa kanilang OS which is sluggish, no? Hindi masyadong responsive. To the point bumagsak yung kanilang sales, no? At naunahan sila ng Samsung at the same time nung iPhone. So yun ang nangyari, no, bumagsak. Ang preference na ng tao nagbabago na, nagshi-shift na, 'di ba? Para maibenta mo ang isang produkto dapat no, alam mo yung preference ng customer mo, 'di ba? Pero kung hindi mo nami-meet yung customer, then lilipat yun sa ibang company o ibang brand, no? So yun yung natin. Now, another type is yung compliance. Okay. Now, kasama na rin dito, class, no, yung failing to maintain beneficial relationship with customer, computer system inability to support operating unit needs, no? Okay. Actually, class, yung compliance is with the law, no? Hindi lang nabanggit doon, no? With the law. Kunyari, you are trying to comply with the regulation of the rules and regulation imposed by the government o kaya by the environment. So that is operational risk type, ha? Another operational risk type. Now, another is yung natural, no? Now, sa natural class is yung energy supply disruption. Okay. Now, class nung mga panahon ng 1990s or early 1990s, yan ang naging problema, no? Naging frequent yung mga brownout, no? Now, damage from fire, water, and natural disaster. Okay, mga pagbaha, no? Like yung floods, earthquake, hurricanes, and tornado. Now, class, sa atin dito, yung natin, hindi hurricanes and tornado, but typhoon, no? Typhoon sa atin, no? Okay, so hindi naman kaila yung ating bansa, yung Pilipinas natin, nasa earthquake belt. So therefore, we are prone to earthquakes but also to typhoons. Ha? So as a result, flooding, di ba? Hindi naman kaila din sa inyo na parang everywhere, no? Parang nagiging yung flooding, nagiging no? Ah, parang madalas, no? Inability to secure needed resources like yung water and minerals, no? Okay, so yung mga minerals like for example for no, um, katulad ngayon class, no, may away ang 'di ba? Ibig sabihin may trade war ang US, no? And US na ang US at saka yung China. Now, ang isa sa mga nagiging problema ngayon is that tit for tat, no? Ibig sabihin kung merong ginawa ang US, they ban, no, yung export ng kanilang mga kunyari ng kanilang technology, the response of the yung ng China is they barred naman yung export naman ng mga precious mineral no, that can be used, no, for electronics, no, kasi sila yung may abundance nun so therefore yun yung so therefore magkakaroon ng problema when it comes to securing needed resources or sabihin natin materials, no, for your product, no, or for the product. Dependency on carbon-based source of energy. Pag sinabi natin carbon-based, that is yung oil, no? Okay, class, hindi naman kaila na mayroong mga minsan nagkakaroon ng problema, biglang tumataas yung yung oil, no? Now, one good example of this is during 1970s, no, nagkaroon ng oil embargo. So therefore, nag-stop ng producing o exporting yung mga nasa OPEC, no? To the point nag-spike talaga yung presyo ng oil at that time. So nagkaroon ng sabihin natin ng matinding epekto sa economy ng mga bansa. O tayo katulad sa atin, class, we are dependent on oil, ha? So wala naman tayo, hindi naman tayo oil producing, but we only depend, no, sa importation ng oil, ha? Okay, another business interruption caused by disease. Okay, in 2020, wag na tayong lumayo because of yung COVID, Actually, most of the business are closed, no, at that time kasi wala ngang dapat na human interaction, o 'di ba? Nasa bahay lang. So therefore, yung mga business nun nagkaroon ng problema with their cash flow kasi they need to pay yung mga rent nila, 'di ba, yung mga expenses ng mga tao, but walang income because close nga yung business, no? Okay. Another type is yung political, no? Yung political in changes in legislation or regulation due to government changes. Okay, nagbabago, 'di ba? For example, class, dati ang ginagamit mo is plastic. O kunyari ganito na lang, class, 'di ba? Ang business mo is producing yung mga plastic bags. Sabihin na lang natin. Eh biglang nagkaroon ng legislation, 'di ba, na hindi nagbabawal na yung mga plastic. Instead, dapat nag-ano ka, ang ginagamit na ngayon ay yung mga paper bag. 'Di ba, usually kung mapapansin ninyo sa mga ano 'no, sa mga supermarket, 'di ba? Sa mga supermarket, yun yung ginagamit or kaya yung eco bag, 'di ba, na binibili. So, therefore, that legislation may epekto yun sa operation mo, eh, ang produkto mo is yung plastic bag. Okay. Now, social unrest triggered by changes in government. O just in case merong mga kudita, 'di ba, mga rally, 'di ba? So therefore merong maaaring makaapekto 'yan sa disruption. Not only that yung kunyari change in government, 'di ba? Yun nga yung mga kudita nga eh. O kaya merong mga pagkakataon class, 'di ba? Kunyari kung ayaw nilang yung pumalit na sabihin natin pumalit na gobyerno, ayaw nila, eh, 'di ba mga yung ano, nagkakaroon ng social unrest, 'di ba? Another. Now, ano yung responsibility of the auditor, 'no? So, siyempre kailangan i-weigh niya yung risk, 'di ba? Now, class, bago niya i-ano, kailangan habang ina-assess niya yung risk, dapat i-consider niya yung internal and external constraint in organization, 'di ba? So, hindi lang kasi 'di ba, kasi ang ano kasi, ang assessment kasi maaaring objective type. 'Di ba, maging objective tayo based on this, ano ng auditor, yung kanyang assessment. Maaaring siguro may mga pagkakataon class kung kunyari pareho tayong auditor, 'di ba? Maaaring iba yung iyong magiging assessment at iba rin yung aking magiging assessment. Pero ang mahalaga diyan dapat kino-consider mo yung mga factors 'no, katulad na nga nung internal and external constraints in organization. At yung isa pa, dapat din tignan din yung evaluating internal dynamics and risk. Okay, no, isa-isahin natin. Ano-ano ba yung mga internal and external? Like for example, yung equipment. Yung equipment, the type of equipment available and the ways they are used limit the ability of the process to produce more high quality goods and deliver a service. Now, for example nito, baka mamaya luma na to at hindi na bago. So therefore, ang kanyang risk ngayon, eh, baka ano na, masyado na siyang yung, 'di ba, habang naluluma ang mga equipment, tumataas ang kanilang maintenance cost because they are prone to breakdown, 'di ba? Okay. Now people, lack of skilled or motivated workers. Okay, kahit maganda pa yung makina mo, kung wala namang marunong na magpaandar nun, abay baka mamaya masira lang yung equipments kahit sabihin natin na bago pa siya. Now, limit the productive capacity of any process. Now, attitudes and other mental models. 'Di ba merong mga ano, walang pag-iingat, pasaway, ganito, 'di ba? Feeling defeated, victimized, and hopeless, no? Embraced by the workers can lead to behavior that become constrained in the process. Now, usually ito yung mga sinasabi nating feeling defeated, victimized. 'Di ba ito yung mga parang sabihin nito pag kunyari parang hindi ako sample nito parang ang worker sa palagay niya hindi siya nakakatanggap ng tamang sweldo. So usually ang gumagawa niyan, ginagantihan niya sa pamamaraan ng kanyang way ng pagtatrabaho. 'Di ba? So usually sasabihin na lang nito kung ganito lang pinapasweldo, bakit ko pa aalagaan 'yan? Wala na siyang pag-iingat sa ginagamit niya, 'di ba? Okay lang masira 'yan, bahala sila diyan. 'Yun yung magiging katwiran nun. Now, another, yung policies, no? Written and unwritten policies can prevent the process from producing more or higher quality goods and services. 'Di ba? Kunyari, for example nito, walang overtime na ibibigay, 'di ba? O yung ano, 'di ba, kung kinakailangan kasi mag-overtime kung if you want to produce more goods, eh kung pinagpapalian no sa policy nila na bawal mag-overtime, then it cannot produce quality goods and services, no? So, yun yung isa sa ano. Now, ano naman yung sa evaluating internal dynamics and risk, no? Okay, the slowest operation in the process. O, kumbaga ito yung bottleneck, no? Merong bottleneck along do sa process. The synchronization of activities within or between the processes. Okay, so sometimes class tinitignan din yung kunyari yung plant layout, no? Kasi sa plant layout, actually pwedeng mapabilis yung process, no? Kung tama ang layout o nang talaga ng mga bagay-bagay, 'di ba? For example, ganito, dapat malapit na sa iyo yung mga materials. Eh kung kunyari napakalayo pa sa iyo ng mga materials na gagawing produkto, kailangan mo pa man pumunta ng second floor, then mag-aaksaya yun ng productivity. Pero kung yung naka-place mo, yung pwesto mo na kung saan gumagawa ka ng ng ano, ng isang produkto ay malapit doon sa source ng materials, then mas magiging mabilis yung produkto. So therefore, that is yung plant layout, ha? Okay, another, grabbing materials and other resources within the between of processes or units. Okay, ito yung ano nga natin, nabanggit ko kanina. Ha? Okay, so number 2 na tayo. So binigyan na natin siya ng konti, no? Yung ibig sabihin natin kung ano ba yung risk, no? At saka yung risk assessment. Okay. Now, pag-usapan naman natin ngayon, no? Okay, kung paano ba mini-measure yung risk. So, meron ding measurement of risk, 'di ba? Okay. Now, yung measurement of risk can be either subjective or quantitative, no? Subjective, ibig sabihin, based dun talaga kung anong sa palagay nung nag-a-assess nung risk. O kaya quantitative, may ginagamit, no? Now, ibig sabihin, meron siyang way, another way other than subjective. And either driven by facts or not. Ha? Okay. Now, dito class, meron tayong tinatawag na ito yung table, no? Yung meron tayong kasi sinusukat kasi natin ang risk by means of impact. Okay. Now, yung likelihood yung maaaring mangyari. Dalawa kasi yan eh, by impact at saka likelihood. Yung impact, ano ba ang magiging ano nito? Grabe ba? 'Di ba? Grabe ba yung pag ito nangyari to? Ano bang magiging ano nito, resulta nito? Grabe ba ang magiging epekto nito sa kumpanya? Likelihood naman yung mo ano, yung ibig sabihin more ah, yung meron siyang probability na mangyayari, ha? So ito yung ano natin 'no, ito yung measurement natin when it comes to impact. So nahahati yan sa 5, 'di ba? Negligible, marginal, critical, severe, and catastrophic. So yung catastrophic, yun ng pinakamalala. At negligible naman, yun naman ang hindi ano, yung impact niya eh parang sabihin natin balewala. Ha? Okay. Now, another naman, sinabi ko nga kanina, sinusukat din ang measurement by means of likelihood. So sabay yan, no? Ito naman unlikely, remote, possibly, or possible, likely, and very likely. So merong range yan, no? Okay. Now, class, meron naman yung table pinagsabay na, no? Okay, so meron naman dito yung eto, another way, no, para sabihin natin. Kanina, maaring hiwalay. 'Di ba? Hiwalay na table para masukat mo yung impact and likelihood. Now, meron namang another table na ipepresent na ganito, no, na ibig sabihin sabay ng tinalakay yung likelihood and impact. Katulad niyan, ha? Okay. Now, meron tayong tinatawag na eto ngayon yung ano natin 'no, yung description 'no, when it comes to impact rating 'no. Okay, so kung titingnan natin kung negligible siya, very low ang kanyang magiging impact. So that means very little damage or harm 'no. Now, nandito rin yung mga ano 'no, mga description, other than description that will describe kaya siya naging negligible. Now, yung marginal naman, low minor damage or harm. So, no significant disruption in operation. Okay, so ang example nito, this event is less likely to cause any significant harm to staff and other could be managed, no? So, ito na ngayon yung kanyang magiging description, no? Para do sa marginal, low minor damage or harm. Okay. Now, ito yung another ano, yung description para do sa impact rating eh yung critical, no? So moderate significant damage or harm, no? So event may cause some very short disruption to operation. Okay, and then nandiyan na ngayon yung that will best describe yung critical, moderate, significant damage. Okay. Now, another yung severe, no? High serious damage or harm. Okay, ito class may cause na significant disruption or suspension in operation. So again, meron na tayo ding mga description that will describe no, yung severe, high, serious damage or harm. Okay, another yung catastrophic, which is the yung highest, no? Okay, may resort to long-term suspension of operation and possible office or program closure. Okay, ito na yung mga critical na talaga, no? So ito, meron na rin uli siyang description that will that will best describe yung catastrophic. Okay. Now, dito naman class when it comes to likelihood naman. So paano natin dinidescribe yung mga yung rating about likelihood, no? Unlikely, no? So very low siya. Okay, so that this event is considered as not having realistic probability. So sinasabi nito is baka hindi talaga mangyayari. Now, remote, low, somewhat likely, no? The event is considered to have reasonable probability. So pero mababa, 'di ba? Now, possible, moderate, likely, the event is considered to have fairly high probability, no, of occurring and affecting the organization under prevailing condition. Okay. Now, ang next to dyan, yung very likely. No, ito, very high probability na of occurring and affecting the organization under prevailing condition. Now, yung panglima, which is in the highest, yung certain or imminent. No, talagang mangyayari na. No? Now, the event is considered to be imminent and expected to occur. So, that is yung na. Now, class, upon assessment based on the likelihood at saka yung impact, so naglalagay tayo ng risk matrix. Now, sa risk matrix, class, eto yun, no? Dapat yung risk natin, once na-assess natin, dapat meron tayong corresponding control, no? To limit, o kaya, hindi naman sabi nga natin, hindi maiwasan, no? Or to avoid yung risk completely. Hindi natin maiiwasan na yung complete na yung risk, 'di ba? O kaya sabihin natin matatanggal no yung risk. 'Di ba? Kunyari, gumawa ka ng control about yung earthquake. Okay, class mapipigilan mo pa ba yung earthquake kapag nag-occur? Nandun pa rin yung risk. Kaya lang meron ka lang mga proper control, no? Control na masasabi natin that will limit or that will no, sabihin natin yung less yung magiging impact, no? Nung ng risk, no? So, therefore, meron dapat corresponding control, no? Okay. Now, the risk matrix is widely used and highly effective tool to record, no, analyze the objective, the risk, and the control in the program or process that is being audited as defined as scope definition. Now, ito yung isang example, no? Ito yung ginagamit, no? Once you have identified yung risk, no? Then therefore you have to also to assess yung control, no? Kung ito ba yung control nito ay kaya pa yung risk na involved. Okay, so nandiyan din yung audit program or step, no? Ibig sabihin natin ito yung ito yung mga ginagamit, how you going to assess yung risk and also how you going to test yung control. Okay, so yan yun natin. Now, that is yung objective, no? Isusulat mo rin. Now, this is a report, no? Report yan, no? Actually, para pag tinignan mo, tinignan and then discuss, then you can, kunyari, nakita mo, konti lang talaga yung, yung control. It's not sufficient enough, no? Parang sabihin natin, kunyari, ganito, cash. 'Di ba? Ano yung risk? Maaaring mawala, 'di ba? Manakaw. Okay, nakita mo ngayon, tinignan mo ngayon yung kung saan tinatabi yung ba nakita mo walang lock. 'Di ba? So therefore there is a high probability, no, ng risk na ito ay mawawala dahil kasi walang lock 'di ba? Nakaano lang siya na walang siyang talagang bolt o kaya ano man yung security features o security control na masabihin natin na maiiwasan na mawala yung pera. So therefore, diyan sa na yan, report na yan, class, makakapag-recommend ka na, 'di ba? Kung ano yung mga pupuwede pang gawin. Now, conduct of risk assessment. Now, the conduct of risk assessment means that we should look for the weakness, no? So yung weakness, kung ano ba yung mga puwedeng ano na that will contribute to the risk, no? Sometimes referred to as vulnerabilities, no? So that would make an asset susceptible to damage or loss from the hazard. Okay. Now, the degree to which people, property, resources, system, cultural, economic, environmental, and social activity is susceptible to harm, degradation, or destruction on being exposed to hostile agent or factor. Now, class, di ba sabi nga natin kanina, when you assess yung risk, you have to consider din, no, yung mga factors, no, na kanina na binanggit natin. Like for example, you can recommend, 'di ba? Parang sabihin natin, you can recommend properly kung alam mo yung mga factors na involved. Like for example, sabihin natin ah, risk, 'di ba? Risk na yung risk na mawala yung mawala yung pera. Now, alam mo lang naman ito ang kakayanan lang ng company, 'no? O ikaw ba sabihin natin, "Sir, dapat taasan natin yung control natin para na sa gano'n ma-anticipate natin yung mga risk, 'no, about the money." Ngayon, may puwede ka bang mag-recommend na sabihin natin, "Sir, yung may nakita ako sa Mission Impossible, kailangan ito yung mga equipment mo." Kaya bang bilhin yun? So, hindi. So, therefore, that you have to, when you assess yung risk, kailangan kunin mo rin yung mga factors, so, i-consider mo rin, okay. Now, conduct of risk assessment, 'no? So, sabi nga natin, malalaman natin, 'no, ang isa sang bagay is to look for the weaknesses. Now, maaaring ito ay objective based, 'no, when you conduct the risk assessment. Now, identify events that might hinder, 'no, the ability of the organization to achieve its objective partially or completed. Now, another yung sinabi natin, scenario based, 'no? Create a different scenario or alternative ways of achieving objective to determine how forces interact. Okay, so eto naman class yung mga ibig sabihin, kung ito yung gagawin natin, anong mangyayari, 'di ba? That is yung scenario based, Pero yung objective based means talagang eto na yung talagang kumbaga parang sa palagay mo, eto na yung talagang kasagutan. Now, the management must consider the external and internal factors. So, laging inuulit natin yan, no? Kasi ibig sabihin nga lang yan, yung risk assessment, magagawa mo ng tama kung kinonsider mo rin yung other factors, no? That can affect the event occurrence. Okay. Now, ang example ng external factors are economic, business, natural, environment, political, social, and technological factors. Now, ang another naman sa internal naman, example include infrastructure, no? Personnel, processes, and technology. Now, paano natin ina-identify yung events? 'Di ba sabi nga natin dito is to assess yung scenario, you must also identify events, 'di ba? For example, yung mga earthquakes, 'di ba? Ganun. Now, to identify events, management must look into the past and the future to identify trends. 'Di ba parang kunyari, every June o July, 'di ba parang tayo kunyari yung trend na paano ba natin pinaghahandaan ang tag-ulan? 'Di ba usually ang trend natin diyan pagdating ng June or July biglang andiyan na yung mga bagyuhan. So therefore gumagawa ka na ngayon ng mga maaaring sabihin natin na pamamaraan to counter yung yung risk ng mga pino-pose nung mga typhoon. Like for example, abay malapit na palang magtag-ulan. So therefore ang risk nito baka mamaya magkaroon tayo ng problema when it comes to sa mga bubong natin. So it's about time na parang pa-repair natin yung mga bubong natin, 'di ba? So paayos natin, baka mamaya magkaroon ng bagyo, tangayin 'yan. So therefore that is only an anticipation, no? Okay. So management, not only do yung no, trends, no, shifting demographics, no? Okay, so therefore yung mga preference, no, new market, no, and competitor activities among others, no? Okay, so that is yung mga events, no, that will contribute to the risk, no? Okay, these events are influenced by technological changes, no? Economic development, increase in literacy level, okay, higher education attainment, natural events like for example, yung floods and hurricanes and demographic changes, So yung events pala ay nai-influence na itong mga ito, no? Okay. Now, example of organizational hazard. O 'di ba, nabanggit natin kanina, yung mga hazard o yung mga risk, no, ay maaaring natural, Okay, natural-made, human-made, mechanical, technological, and logistic. Na magbigay tayo ng mga corresponding example ng mga different hazard na ating nabanggit. Okay, like for example, yung natural flood, earthquake, no, hurricanes, temperature like now, no, na maraming nakakaranas ng mainit, no, high heat wave, no, pandemic and contamination. Now, for human naman, class, that is unintentional at saka intentional. Ang pinagkaiba nga lang nito kasi 'pag unintentional, that is an error, 'no, hindi sinasadya. Pero 'pag intentional, that mean there is a malice, 'no. Okay, maaaring ito ay katulad ng workplace violence, strike, arson, and fraud, 'no. For unintentional naman, poor operated equipment, 'di ba, yung maaaring nagkaroon ng pagkakamali, unsafe work procedure na ang ginagamit. No? So that is fatigue, lack of training and distraction. Now, for mechanical naman, poorly placed installed equipment. So ito ay may related talaga do sa mga equipment na ginagamit. Outdated, ibig sabihin ito ay matagal na, 'di ba? Matagal nang ginagamit. Like for example, sabihin na natin, 'di ba? Kunyari sa computer na lang, ang computer na ginagamit ay sinaunang panahon pa. So therefore, ang pupuwede lang diyan na OS ay yung sinauna ring na OS. Kunyari sabihin natin Windows 7, kunyari Windows 7, no? Parang gano'n. Eh, class ang Windows 7 ano na 'no, parang ibig sabihin na, hindi na 'yan sinusuportahan ng mga patches or yung ibig sabihin nun, sinusuportahan nung, kasi 'di ba meron kasing mga ang Microsoft from time to time nagbibigay sila ng mga patches or vulnerability patches sa kanilang mga, OS 'no. Okay, para na sa gano'n hindi matamaan ng malware. Eh, yung 7 hindi na yun supported. So therefore, there is a risk, 'no? 'Di ba, risk involved kasi ang ginagamit pa rin ay luma, 'no? Structural failure and mechanical breakdown and hazardous material. Now, for technological naman, loss of connectivity and corrupted data. Okay, so yung ginagamit, 'no? 'Di ba kunyari ang ginagamit pa rin 3G, eh, 5G na tayo, 'di ba? So para mapabilis, 'no? Okay. Now, logistic naman, supplier disruption and transportation interruption. So that is different examples, no, sa organizational hazard. Now, including din sa identification of events, actually, dalawa, no? Okay, common risk checking, use of fabricated list of common risks in your industry or area of scope. 'Di ba? Ibig sabihin, do'n sa lugar mo, ma-identify mo kung ano, 'di ba? Kunyari, makukuha mo kasi yung data na 'yan from the government. Kunyari, for example, gusto mong malaman kung ito ay earthquake prone yung lugar. So therefore, you can research that, 'no? Kunyari sa PhilBox, 'di ba? Para malaman mo kung ito ay nasa ano ng earthquake belt. Like for example, class, 'di ba, na-identify na ngayon yung Marikina fault line. 'Di ba? So marami ang tatamaan do'n sa Marikina Fault Line just in case 'no, na magkaroon ng major earthquake at ito ay manggaling sa Marikina Fault Line. Now, saan mo makikita ngayon yung yung mga mapa niyan 'no, sa PhilBox pupuwede mo 'no, para malaman mo kung ano yung dinadaanan ng fault line. Now, ang another yung bagyo, 'di ba? From the statistic, 'di ba, kung dinadaanan lagi ng bagyo. 'Di ba, yung lugar, 'di ba? O kaya binabaha, 'di ba? Binabaha. So therefore may mga records niyan. Risk charting naman, combination of above approaches, no, consists of listing resources at risk and the threat of those resources. So that is yung risk charting. Okay. Now, include this identification of events, no? Okay, the risk assessment with the identification of hazards, asset at risk, impact analysis, and response of activities can serve the organization well and increase the likelihood that the goal and objectives will be achieved. So, not only identification of hazard at ano yung involved na asset na maaaring maapektuhan, no? Na maaaring maapektuhan nung hazard, no? At ano ang magiging impact just in case yung asset ay masira, no? Like for example, yung San Miguel, no? I don't know if you are familiar with San Miguel dito sa amin, sa lugar namin sa Valenzuela, 'di ba? So therefore, yung kasi ang Valenzuela, yung Marulas are prone to no, eh nandiyan talaga yung major manufacturing or kaya yung processing ng mga beer, no? Yung mga bote-bote ng mga beer diyan sa may San Miguel, BBB, no? So, merong impact yun, no? Kunyari, ang prone yun, yung flooding nga, 'di ba? During the typhoon, no? Okay, so ano yung kanilang ano, yung maaring problema, no? Yung kanilang asset at risk, yung kanilang processing, yung machinery nila. At ano yung magiging impact nito just in case yun ay binaha at nasira. 'Pag binaha kasi yung magkakaroon ng mga ano, 'di ba, dumi-dumi, putik, 'di ba? So bago yun talaga i-process uli, kailangan linisin muna. So therefore magkakaroon ng stop ng operation. Kasi hindi ka magkakaroon ng productivity, wala kang ipo-produce na produkto during that time na naka-down yung machinery. Okay. So yun ngayon, ano ngayon yung impact ngayon? Ano ngayon yung ano, ay by means of course. 'Di ba kunyari 7 days na wala tayong magiging processing ng mga beer. So therefore, magkano ang sales na mawawala? Ha? Okay. Now, relationship of hazard, asset at risk and organizational impact. So magbigay tayo ng example, no? Para at least makita nyo yung relasyon ng tatlo. Okay. Now, katulad nito, cyber attack o asset at risk, syempre yung mga property like yung mga computer. No, ano yung impact niya? Yung property damage, 'di ba? Now, supplier failure, people and property. So therefore, ang impact naman niya is yung financial loss. Kasi wala kang makukuhang mga materials, no? Mechanical breakdown system, no? Okay, loss of customer, possible. Kasi class, 'di ba, pag wala kang napo-produce, lilipat 'yun sa ibang mga brand, no? Utility outage, no? Machinery, that is personal injury. Pandemic, no? Reputation, people and contamination. Hazardous material spill, no? Ang asset at risk yung environment o ang impact noon is possible yung mga fines and penalties, no? O kaya ang mas worse ano no, ipasara ng government yung ano yung operation. Now, terrorism, property and people, lawsuit and personal injury. Okay, the fire, explosion, structural collapse, property, people, machinery, loss of confidence in the organization, and financial loss. Now, control self-assessment. Now, class, di ba yung usually ang ginagawa dito is from time to time, makakatulong din yung CSA o yung control self-assessment. So, ikaw na mismo ang nag-a-assess. Now, usually, class, ang problema dito, paano kaya, sir, kung hindi naman accountant ang nagse-self-assess? No, unlike yung self as ano accountant, meron na siyang idea at paano ang gagawin niya. Paano yung iba na hindi naman talaga accountant. So isa yun, no? Ang pupuwedeng i-bridge natin sa gap na yan ay meron na tayong mga prepared list, no? Okay, meron naman 'di ba kanina nabanggit prepared list or templates coming from the COSO, ITIL, 'di ba? So yun yung mga parang sabihin natin na ano no, yung ginagamit din ng mga businesses. Okay, ano ba yung ano CSA? This is basically the process of evaluating and improving the prevalent internal controls, but most importantly is done by management itself. Okay, 'di ba? 'Yan yung ginagawa natin, 'di ba? Yung minsan ang self-assessment natin, class, tinitingnan nating mabuti, tinitingnan natin yung ating sarili. Kunyari tayo lang, no? 'Di ba? Oh. Oh, 'di ba yung ating ang self-assessment natin, 'di ba, pwede nating gamitin yung SWOT analysis, 'di ba? Yung strength, weakness, 'di ba? Para malaman natin o makilala pa natin talaga yung ating sarili, 'di ba? That is only. Pero sa control self-assessment, CSA, may ginagamit diyan na template, ha? Okay, they consist of questionnaires and other forms that process owners complete, no? That identify the major activities in their program and processes. Now, the objective, risk, and control, the individual that perform key tasks and control, and the major challenge affecting this program and processes. So, dyan, di ba, malalaman mo kung yes or no. Di ba, parang gano'n, yes or no. Ito ba, ginagawa mo? Yes, yes, no, no, no. So, doon malalaman mo ngayon mate-test mo ngayon, no, kung ilan talaga. Tas based do sa score, malalaman mo na ngayon kung ano yung parang risk, no, kung yung sa risk assessment mo. Okay, so number 3 na tayo, no? Okay. Now, class, bago natin talaga yung sa process based, no? Paano tayo? 'Di ba? Kaya natin nga pala ginagawa yung risk assessment before talaga tayo mag-audit, no? Mag-audit o magkaroon ng talaga ng actual operational audit. Kasi class, 'di ba, lagi kong binabanggit sa inyo, ang audit kasi class, meron lang siyang limited time and limited resources na gagamitin para sa audit. During the duration of audit, limited lang. Now, kung bakit tayo nagkakaroon ng risk assessment, ay para na sa ganun, yun dun natin mailagay ng mas malaki yung ating resources at yung time. Kasi kung merong risk, there is a big possibility na magkakaroon, di ba? Based on risk assessment, ha? Kung nyari, kung based dun sa risk assessment natin ay mataas, then therefore, there is a possibility or likelihood na merong talagang matitisod ka talaga na problema. So therefore, mas binibigyan natin ng panahon at time, no? O resources at time doon sa mataas ang risk na na-identify natin. Now, how about naman yung risk management? Now, yung risk assessment, that is a particular time lang. Pero pag sinabi nating risk management, that means that is a continuing process of identifying, no? Analyzing, evaluate, and treat loss exposure, and monitor risk control and financial resources to mitigate the adverse effect of loss. No, ito ang keyword dito ay continuing process. Yung sa risk assessment, one time lang yun. Pero dito, kapag sinabi natin na risk management, that means you are continually monitoring, no? Ina-identify mo, ina-analyze mo, at the same time, ini-evaluate yung mga risk, no? Okay, so that is risk management. Now, ano ba yung objectives of risk management? Now, ito ay based dun sa Institute of Internal Auditors o IIA, no? Standards and Definition of Internal Auditing. Now, yung objectives of risk management, so the risk management, the internal audit activity must evaluate, no, the effectiveness and contribute to the improvement of risk management process. Now, class, ang ini-evaluate nito, yung effectiveness nito, yung control, no, that will correspond to the risk. Ha? Now, organizational objectives support and align with the organization mission, no? Okay. Significant risks are identified and assessed. Appropriate risk response are selected that align risk with the organization risk appetite and relevant risk information enabling staff management and board to carry out their responsibility is captured and communicated in a timely manner across the organization, enabling staff management and the board to carry out their responsibility. Okay, that is based on IIA, no? Okay. Now, another, in addition, yung 2020 A1, no? Okay, the internal audit activity must evaluate risk exposure, no? Relating to organization's governance, operation, and information system regarding, no? The reliability and integrity of financial and operational information, effectiveness and efficiency of operation, safeguarding of asset, and compliance with law, regulation, and contracts. Ha? Now, tinanong natin, risk management. How about naman yung enterprise risk management? Pag sinabi nating enterprise risk management, ito ay pangkahalatan na, no? So hindi lang ito sa isang particular area but the whole, no? Pangkahalatan na. It is a process affected by entities, board of directors, management, and other personnel, no? Applied in strategy, setting and across the enterprise designed to identify potential events that may affect the entity and manage risk to within the risk appetite to provide reasonable assurance regarding the achievement of entities' objectives. Okay. So sa enterprise risk management, no, o ERM, no, may apat, no. So yung strategic, okay. High level goals align with the supporting its mission. Kung ano natin, no, kumbaga parang sabihin natin kung hihimayin natin yung definition, no. Operation, effective and efficient use of its resources. Okay, reporting, reliability of reporting. At yung pang-apat, yung compliance. Compliance with applicable laws and regulation. Okay. Now, class, usually meron mga prepared, no, na sabihin natin na list, no. Actually, kung sakaling just in case na walang meron kasing mga list, no, na ginagamit ang internal auditor. Now, karaniwan ang ginagamit ng mga internal auditor wherein meron talagang complete when it comes to risk, no, enterprise risk management. Ito ngang yung Cube, no? This is coming from the COSO, no? So there are 8 essential components which must be in place working effectively if risk management is to be effective. Ano yung 8 na yan? Ito nga yung internal environment, objective setting, event identification, risk assessment, risk response, control activities, information and communication, and then monitoring. Ha? Okay. Now, ano yung role ng internal audit sa ERM? Okay. So, eto, no, class 3, no? Correspond to internal audit assurance role, no? Okay, so when it comes to internal control, 'di ba sabi nga natin lagi, 'di ba, yung internal control that will correspond to the risk, no? Okay, ano yung ano niya, yung assurance, no, coming from the internal auditor. That meaning that internal control is ano, no, effective, no? Effective do sa kanyang ano, no? It will ano effectively kumbaga operate, no? Nag-ooperate siya effectively yung internal control. Now, another core internal auditor roles regard to ERM, ha? Now, another yung correspond to internal audits consulting role. Now, pag sinabi naman natin na consulting role, that is in providing, no? Kunyari sabihin natin advice or recommendation. Once na nakita mo na o na-assess mo na yung internal control. So, legitimate internal auditing roles with safeguards, no? Okay, and then yung last, yung represent management responsibility. Now, the cut-off when it comes to internal control class, ang ano niyang may responsibility niyan ay yung management pa rin. Because they are the one implementing the internal control, no? At the same time, yung audit committee is the one, no, that formulates yung tinatawag natin na policies, no? Okay, so roles internal auditing should not undertake, ha? Okay. So isa-isahin natin, ba? So ibig sabihin ito yung sa huli, yung role na hindi mo dapat ginagawa kasi hindi mo responsibilidad 'yun, ha? Okay, una, so that correspond to internal audit assurance role. Now, giving assurance on the risk management process. So assurance, that means you are ano, no, pag sinabi nating assurance, you are parang sabi ng nagko-comply, no? So yung internal control complied, no? Well, no? So gumagana ng maayos. Giving assurance that risks are correctly evaluated, ha? Okay, evaluating the risk management processes, no? Okay. Now, another, evaluating the reporting of key risks, no? Okay, nai-report mo yung mga na-identified na risks. Reviewing the management of key risks. Now, ano na ba naman yung correspond to internal audit consulting role? Una, yung facilitating identification of evaluation of key risks. Okay, coaching management in responding to risks. O, ito na yung pagbibigay ng recommendation, no? Coordinating ERM activities. Okay. Now, consolidating the report on risks, maintaining and developing ERM framework, and championing the establishment of ERM. Okay. Now, another, developing risk management strategy for board approval. Now, dito naman, class, ito naman yung represent management responsibility. So, therefore, hindi mo responsibilidad yan as internal auditor, but rather, it represent management responsibility. Now, setting the risk appetite, imposing risk management processes, okay, and management assurance on risk, no? Okay. Another, taking decision on risk responses, implementing risk responses on management behalf, and accountability for risk management. Okay, so sa last na tayo, ha? Okay, that is number 4. Now, class, when it comes to assessment of risk, meron tayong tools na ginagamit. Okay, so meron tayong ano, no, kung paano natin ma-assess, no? Okay. Now, the tools for management, actually, dalawa. Yung risk matrix, actually, nagbigay na ako, no, parang report, no, kanina, no? And that is also a risk matrix. Now, another, yung risk register. Okay. So, ipaliwanag natin ba yung isa na yan. Now, yung risk matrix class, gumagawa tayo, no, 'di ba, ng parang ganito, parang graph, no, wherein we can plot do sa impact at saka yung likelihood. Now, pina-plot natin, no, pina-plot natin yung mga na-identify natin na risk, no. Okay, so that is yung risk appetite. Siyempre, consider mo yung risk appetite. Now, class, eto ngayon yung inherent or gross risk. Okay. Now, yung net risk class, pag inano mo, no, kinonsider mo yung risk appetite. So, ang makukuha mo yung net risk. Now, ito namang kulay blue nito, that is your circle, represent either inherent risk. Okay, which is the level of risk the organization would be exposed to if there are no mitigating measure or place. O kaya yung gross risk naman, which is the level that organization is exposed to it, it takes no further mitigating action. Now, class, pina-plot natin yan, no? Yung mga yan, no? Yung gross risk at saka yung inherent. Okay. Now, anong ginagawa natin? Yung triangle naman is the level of risk remaining after the chosen mitigating action had been introduced and applied. Okay, ibig sabihin kunyari eto nakita mo yung risk at nakita mo yung ano, yung mga sabihin natin control, no? So net risk, alin pa yung natitira? 'Di ba parang sabihin nga natin baka mamaya hindi pa sapat, 'di ba? Hindi pa sapat yung control. Okay, so pina-plot natin. Now, appropriate ways of mitigating risk. Okay, now, sa plot natin, class, meron dito tayong 4 na area, no? Okay, so base, kung ano yung magiging actions natin, no? Okay, 'di ba kunyari, 'di ba pina-plot natin isa-isa yung net risk, 'di ba? Okay, saan sa matatapat, no? Merong 4 na area dun sa graph. Una, yung terminate or contingency plan. Continuous focus by top management and the board. Monitor. Okay, at saka emphasis on control, procedure, and activities. Okay, meaning kung saan natapat talaga yung net talaga, and then kung kanina natapat dito sa monitor, then ang magiging actions mo when it comes to risk is monitor kasi mababa lang siya. 'Di ba? Pa kunyari nandito siya, class, 'di ba? Nandito siya. So maliit lang yung impact niya, maliit lang yung likelihood. So therefore, monitor mo lang. Baka mamaya hindi naman kasi magiging forever na maliit yan, baka biglang lumaki yan. So, kaya kailangan i-monitor. Okay. Now, a more sophisticated example of risk matrix. Okay, ito naman by numbers, no? So, ganyan. So, kung ito ay meron tong kulay din, no? Or coded din. So, therefore, ang ano netong katulad nito, kulay pula, that means a priority. Ah, Okay. Now, the threads plotted in the graph are given a score, no? Or by multiplying their horizontal and vertical position. So, whatever yung kanyang magiging score ngayon, doon mo ngayon ipa-plot ngayon, no? And the score determine the seriousness of risk. Okay. Now, diyan yun ngayon sa ano mo, pagka-multiply mo, yung score niya, makikita mo ngayon, no? 60 plus, critical, that is red, no? 30 to 59, that is high, that na-place mo siya sa orange, no? And then so on, yung medium, that is yellow, low is white. Now, sa check register naman, class, ito naman yung mangyayari, no? So, ang ginagawa mo nito, class, is tinitignan mo, no? Yung, kumbaga parang sabihin natin, tinitignan mo what will be, no? So, and then you have to categorize din, no? Now, class, para ma-effectively, no, na magawa mo yung identification of risk mo, okay, o kaya ma-assess mo yung risk mo, then you have to categorize yung risk. Kasi iba-iba yung kanilang magiging ano, yung resulta eh. So, kailangan, bago mo gawin talaga yung kanina na pinakita natin, then you have to categorize muna based on strategic, general system, new business and market, okay, structural, regulatory and legal, people related, no? And last yung market competition. So kailangan i-consider 'yan. Okay. Now, ito ngayon yung ano no, yung isang example no. Kunyari na-identify mo na-plot mo na. So ito ngayon no. So bibigay mo. Ito na ngayon yung parang summary no. Magiging summary ng report mo. Now, used to create and maintain a record of threats and their management at all levels and all parts of the organization. Now, the risk register allow a more detailed description of the approaches being taken to manage risk. Okay. Now, dito na tayo sa last part natin. Now, ano ba yung mga sabihin natin risk management challenges no when it comes to assessment of risk? Now, mahalaga lagi yung risk assessment, class. Ginagawa lagi yan ng isang auditor, no? Okay, sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, limited lang ang time at saka ng sabihin natin ng resources. So therefore, risk-based, 'di ba? Meron tayong sinasawag na risk-based audit. Meaning ibig sabihin you give priority yung mas mataas yung risk na risk ng i-audit, no? So, ano ba yung mga challenges? Major risks that are concealed, hindi pinapakita. Okay. So therefore, merong problema, no? The extra risk of less democratic organization, ha? Okay, class, ibig sabihin nito, walang kumbaga parang ang nasusunod management, 'di ba? So share na rin yung nagdidikta. Now, multiple simultaneous risk materializing. Okay, sabay-sabay nagkakaroon ng problema ng risk, no? So ang problema dito, merong risk ganito mangyayari, merong another risk. So hindi mo alam kung ano yung paanong control. Opportunity as well as threat, and too risk averse. Pag sinabi nating too risk averse ay masyado kang yung parang sabihin natin parang minsan nasasabihin natin OA ka. Yung parang na ang dami-dami mong nilalagay na control, no? To the point na naapektuhan na yung operation ng company sa sobrang dami ng control. Now, tandaan natin, 'di ba, sa business, meron tayong tinatawag na the high the risk, the high the return, 'di ba? Yung low return, low risk, low return din ang magiging mangyari. Now, baka doon maapektuhan yung earnings ng company because too much risk o too risk averse ang company. Now, future challenges and risk implication, increase outsourcing. So ito yung mga pamamaraan na ngayon na sa palagay natin must be assessed na sa gano makita natin baka mayroong mga risk. Now, for example nito yung increase outsourcing, meaning you try to outsource yung mga jobs, no, abroad. Okay. Eh di ba ito meron ding no, di ba kunyari mas nagiging dependent ka. Eh paano kung biglang nagkaroon ng problema? So therefore there is a possibility na magkaroon ng disruption sa operation. Okay. Now, pangalawa yung global sourcing. Now, global sourcing parang rin 'to, 'di ba? Yung isabihin natin na global sourcing of materials, no? On different countries. Okay, margin compression. Okay. Technology, pagbabago ng technology and growth in Asia and other developing markets. Okay. And another, yung improved customer analytics. Now, class, sa improved customer analytics, right now, most of the company right now are collecting data. Okay, because yung data na collected from the customer are used, no? O is used, no? Para do sa sabihin natin na mapagsilbihan ng mabuti yung mga customer. Kasi nakaka-collect sila ng mga data, 'di ba? So yung mga feedback coming from their customer. Now, kaya lang merong isang delikadong bagay. Remember, the more the data you collected do sa medyo mahirap yun i-maintain, no, na safe siya. Remember, lahat ngayon ng mga hacker ang kanilang target ay yung data na nanggagaling, no, sa company o sa mga individual. Okay. Bakit? Eh ginagamit yun, no, for ransom, 'di ba? Okay, so I think that's all, class, no, and thank you sa inyong pakikinig. And hopefully meron kayong natutunan sa naging discussion natin. Now, for the quiz, maybe next time, no, natin. Now, before we talaga, no, call it a day, no. Things do not happen, things are made to happen. So by John F. Kennedy. Okay, thank you sa inyo, class, no. Ito yung ating no, yung ating book na ginagamit do sa ating discussion, no.